Update. Would I be the a-hole if I told my late wife's family that she cheated on me? Original post. Anna, my late wife, died in a car accident. Person lost control of their car and ran her over, and she passed away immediately. We were both 26 at the time. It was 4 years ago, right before the pandemic. We were having a bad time as a couple. She was extremely jealous of me, but also very protective of her phone. Shortly after her death, I found out I had STD, and surprise, surprise, she was cheating on me. On the day she passed, a guy we went to college and was kind of friends with sent her messages, asking for pictures of their last encounter. And the way he talked, it seemed like it was recent, and it seemed that they talked often. I was able to get in her phone and laptop, as she didn't change her passwords because she would always ask to check my phone and I would ask for hers back. So I had a password. There wasn't much because she deleted everything or hid it very well, but the most recent messages, she obviously couldn't delete them. So everything that came after her death was still there. While looking for the pictures he asked for, I found pictures of her and him in a .rar deep in a random place at her work folders, at her laptop. In one of them, she had short hair, which she only had right after we got engaged. So she was with him for at least 3 years, out of our 6 years together. Also found pictures of 2 other guys, but I have no idea who they are. And there were no messages from either of them anywhere. I messaged a friend and told him that I knew, told him about the STD, and that I won't reveal it to anyone and want it to be kept as a secret forever. I asked him if anyone else knew, and he said that his ex knew but he would talk to her. I decided that for the sake of her parents and siblings, I would pretend she was a great person and let them have their beautiful memories with her. Anna's older brother Thomas, 34 male, is a good friend of mine to this day. I would even go as far to say we are best friends. After 2 years of my wife's passing, I was ready to date again. Thomas said that he knew the perfect girl for me, he just wanted me to be sure I was ready for something serious before introducing each other. It was his sister-in-law, Laura, 27 female. We knew each other only superficially but never really talked before our first date. I fell for her quick and hard. We started dating and about 3 months in, we were already telling each other I love yous, and I told her I was going to marry her. It has been a little less than 2 years. We are engaged and I have never been this happy. I told her all about my relationship with Anna. I still have the evidence of what she did, stored away in my computer just in case, and I showed it to Laura. She cried a little and comforted me, but I assured her I was fine and that I was over it. The problem comes with Anna's family, especially her mom and sister. Ever since Anna's passing, every time they talk about her, people want to hear me talk. They ask me about her, try to include me in conversations about her. Anna was such a good cook, right OP? I loved when she and OP would banter. You remember OP? Stuff like this. I was able to get by in the beginning by saying it was difficult for me to talk about her, that I was not ready. They let me be for a while, but ever since I started dating Laura, I couldn't use the "I'm not ready" excuse. Her friends, sister and mom get annoyed if I don't sound enthusiastic or depressed. Learn that it's easier to look depressed. Also, if I talk about Anna in any way that isn't portraying her as an angel that came down to earth to bless us with her presence, I get side-eyed. Thankfully, Thomas and her father are great guys and don't push me too hard on this. Her dad is always thankful that I attend their family gatherings, as we like to talk about our field of work. He always says he considers me a son. Her mom and sister, though, they get irritated if I try to dodge the topic of Anna. And his sister even said it out loud once that it's obvious that I didn't love Anna. She apologized after, but I mean, she isn't wrong. By the end, I didn't, and sure as heck don't now. Look, I'm over what happened. I don't feel hate for Anna anymore. I sometimes catch myself wishing she was alive, just so I didn't have to pretend anymore. But also because her death was a tragedy. A lot of people loved her. Her friends organized a reunion for her birthday, and those were incredibly hard. And even though I know her affair partner will be there, I go because I know how much she meant to those people. But this all started to get to me because it's affecting Laura. I can't say I love her in front of these people. I can't even hug her, and Anna's sister gets all moody. Her best friend stopped speaking to Laura. They were also friends. Anna's mom even came to us at Thomas' birthday party last week and asked us to stop dancing to respect her grief. She also contacted my mom and Laura's parents to say that she was incredibly disappointed that I proposed to Laura so soon, saying that we were moving too fast. It's been 4 years. Even if she wasn't a cheater, more than enough time has passed. I'm just over it, and I'm seriously considering telling all of them what happened, just to get the weight off my back. Would I be the a-hole if I did this? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Looks like Anna's family is still trying to control your life, even from the grave. Maybe it's time to let go of their expectations and focus on your own happiness with Laura. You deserve it. If Thomas is a good friend and your families are intertwined, perhaps he is the one to talk with. Let him see the evidence and hear the story. I would honestly stop caring about what her mom and sister think. Maybe tell her brother just to explain why you would be distancing yourself, and that's it, not the a-hole. I think the brother is the route to go. Show him the evidence and distance from the mom and sister. You want to reveal the truth to alleviate your own burden, but deep down, this isn't just about truth. It's about reclaiming your narrative and the control you lost when Anna cheated on you. Her family unknowingly forces you to uphold a lie that erases your pain, forcing you to live with unresolved resentment. Your silence has served their idealized memory, but it's eating away at your sense of integrity, and that suppression bleeds into your new life with Laura. What you fear most is not their judgment, it's the risk of tarnishing the only connection you have left to the person you once thought you loved. Yet that version of Anna died long before her accident, and you're still grappling with that realization. You're searching for permission to let go, but you don't need it. Exposing the truth might give you momentary relief, but it will permanently alter relationships with people you still care about, like Thomas. The question isn't whether you'd be an a-hole, it's whether you're ready for the fallout of destroying the illusion that sustains Anna's family, and if that weight is worth lifting off your shoulders. Deep down, you're unsure if exposing the truth will really free you, or if it's just another attempt to escape the pain you haven't fully processed. This is the best advice OP is ever going to get. Since you are in a way marrying back into the family, do you really want to blow everything up? I mean, they're going to blow up everything once he does marry her. They're making comments about him not loving Anna and moving on too quickly. Those comments will never stop. It will become his and Laura's kids should have been Anna's, and on and on. Someone, OP or Laura, is going to snap when they aren't all allowed to celebrate milestones because of grief over Anna. Now for the update 2 months later. Hello again. Sorry for not replying to most of you. There were too many comments and I wasn't able to respond to many. Thank you so much for caring though. I had used Reddit for advice on a work-related issue in the past and it was helpful. I feel like it came through again. Only updating because I received so many DMs asking for it. And I hate when I read something and has no solution. And as I think there's no harm in doing it, here I am. Something that I want to add because I didn't feel it was relevant before, but seeing so many people saying so many mean things about Anna made me feel like it's relevant, just for some people to understand how I feel about her. Maybe it isn't relevant, but I feel like saying it and putting out there. Anna loved me. She really did. She wasn't some monster that wanted me to be miserable and make me a fool. I saw the way she talked about me to other people. She loved me. She was worried I would divorce her and was talking to people about how to turn around our marriage, how to put it back on track. The issue was that she had a kink, and I absolutely had no desire to partake in it. I won't say what it was, but let's just say she did stuff to the guys, not the other way around. Honestly, the guys in the pictures looked pathetic, and if those were to leak, they would be the ones ridiculed, not me. The affair partner that I talked to was desperate when I told him I had pictures. That's also what made it 10 times easier for me to move on. I would say this was better than if she had a normal affair, at least for my mental health. Anyway, she asked a couple times, once early in the relationship and another time after we got married, and I refused unequivocally both times, and was particularly judgmental about it. All the pictures I found were of her in those kink scenarios. So yeah, she was actually frustrated and used those men to satisfy her kink. But she loved me. She was just very selfish, dumb, and reckless. I really believe this. And I say all of this because she was a really terrible wife. She cheated on me for years because of a freaking kink. But she was not a terrible person. She was only a terrible partner. There is a reason so many people loved her so much. I went with my gut feeling of talking to Thomas. Seems like a lot of people came to the same conclusion that this was the best way to deal with this. Me and Laura went to his house and we talked to him and his wife, Laura's sister. I told them that I was only bringing this up now because mine and Laura's lives are being affected by the way people perceive me as Anna's husband. People want me to be a memory of her life, when in reality, being reminded that I was married to her felt like a gut punch and I'm at my limit. But I kept on trying because I love her family, and I know how much she meant to many people. I told them that I did not love the person she became when she died, that we were probably headed for divorce soon, even without the things I learned. The only reason I didn't share it with anyone was because I didn't see a point to tarnish her memory and change people's perception of her when it wouldn't matter to anyone, and it would only bring pain for those that loved her. Now though, this decision is biting me in the butt because I also have to act like she was perfect. The reason I told them this way was so they could opt in to knowing more if they wanted. But if they would rather stay ignorant to the situation, they could. Thomas wanted to know everything, so I told him. He asked to see the proof, and I told him that the pictures were sexual and graphic. It was not a good idea for him to see it. He asked his wife to see them. I showed it to her and she confirmed to him that it was real, and they were really bad. She actually flinched looking at them. He asked if it was only one time, and I told him it was with 3 different guys, and one of them went on for at least 3 years that I knew of. He was mad, cussed a lot, not at me but at the situation. I started to regret everything at that point. He said, "Why is she so freaking stupid?" He called Anna stupid a bunch of times. He asked for some time to think stuff over and went out. I left Laura and her sister talking and also went on a drive. About an hour later, Thomas called me and asked me to come back to his house. He and Monica gave me a hug. She was crying a lot. He asked me what I wanted to do. I told him that all I wanted is to move on from this and be happy with Laura. He told me that he would handle his mom and sister, that I didn't need to worry about them anymore, but I should just distance myself from his family and Anna's friends for a while. He said I'm his brother and that will never change. We all hugged it out and that was it. My ex-sister-in-law has since reached out and told me that she knew Anna was cheating on me, but thought we were working through it. Anna told her about a year before she died and said that she would come clean and try to work on the marriage. Now Thomas told her what happened and she has apologized a lot. Said that she has been basically ignoring her flaws ever since she died, but it has turned unhealthy for both her and her mom. She said she will help me with anything I need regarding this topic. Ex-father-in-law and mother-in-law don't know anything and we will keep it that way. I will try to make time to hang out with my father-in-law from time to time, and considering him and my new father-in-law are good friends, me and Thomas have been talking about taking them fishing, golfing, maybe just going to a bar, stuff like that, at least once a month. And as for my ex-mother-in-law, I just keep my interactions to a minimum. So yeah, I think it worked out well. Another thing is that Laura wants to speed up our wedding planning, so hopefully we will get married in March or April. Before we were talking about having a long engagement, but there's no point in waiting. We both know what we want. And I'm happy. Very happy. Yeah, you did the right thing. Good update. On your ex-wife loving you, I believe you. She probably was a very mentally disturbed person, but bad people, narcissists, and mentally unwell people can love, and maybe she did. But if I were you, I wouldn't think about that too much. I don't really think about it. I read my first thread again before posting this update, and I guess I felt weird seeing so many people talking the way they did about Anna without knowing the context. And honestly, I don't think I hate her anymore, and understand she had an urge and needed to scratch it. It just so happens that the urge she had was something that was off limits to me, and she couldn't contain herself and was weak and selfish. I don't know why I feel like this. I guess the kink made it easier to rationalize in my head. Your ex-sister-in-law sounds like a piece of work. Best of luck forwards. Yeah, honestly, I don't buy much of what she said, but if she doesn't mess with my life, I will leave it be. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my ex-husband there is no us anymore? 2 years ago, I, 37 female, was married to my ex-husband Jason for 5 years, together for 6. Our marriage had been pretty rocky and we fought frequently. Eventually, I guess it got to a point where he decided to cheat on me. I didn't even realize what was going on until I had come home one day to find her and him kissing in the kitchen. That's when he told me that he was seeing someone and that he was in love with her. I'll call the woman Emily for privacy. Emily didn't say anything. She just kissed him on the cheek again before going into the bedroom to help him pack his stuff up, while Jason began telling me about how it'd go through with a divorce. My heart was broken. And to think that just a few weeks prior, this was the man who was telling me future names for our kids. Fast forward 2 years later after that, I am currently engaged to a wonderful man. Recently, we have been planning our wedding as well as our honeymoon. We have also discussed the topic of children and agreed that none of us plan to have children in the near future. And I am so thankful that I didn't end up having any with my ex. This is not disrespecting people who do have kids. One night when I was watching Netflix on a couch, my doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole to see my ex standing there, crying and begging me to talk to him. I opened the door and asked what was wrong, because I wasn't sure if it was an emergency or not. He started by saying he was sorry, Emily was crazy, and that he wanted to come home to me and be the one sleeping with me at night instead of Emily. He went on a whole rant about how much he missed me and that he regrets ending things with me. Him and Emily have a child together, but he says he wishes I was the mother of his kids. Maybe that way he could see me and kiss me every day when he got home. He then asked me if we could rekindle our relationship, and I laughed in his face. I told him that maybe he could have just ended things on a good term instead of going behind my back and cheating on me. If he loved me so much, he wouldn't have slept with someone else. It's his loss. I've already moved on as well. So even if he didn't cheat, I still would have said no, and then told him to leave or I would contact the authorities. He tried to bargain with me before just straight up telling me that he would simply just leave. Anyway, I'm currently laying back down on my couch again while writing this. I'm just a bit worried if I'm actually the a-hole here. What? You mean you didn't put your life in pause and wait around for that prize specimen of a fool? Not the a-hole. Continue being blissfully happy with your new partner and let the ex deal with the consequences of his stupidity. Not the a-hole. He made a choice to cheat on you with Emily and he likely cheated on her with someone else. The us you had is long gone. Good on you for standing your ground, but also asking if there was an emergency. I completely agree. He made his choice when he cheated, and now he can't just walk back into your life expecting everything to be the same. You did the right thing by standing firm and also showing concern for his well-being, OP. Not the a-hole. Personally, I'd message his lovely wife. Hey, just a little advice. Keep your crybaby husband on a tighter leash. I don't need him showing up at my door, crying and begging me back. I do not want to get police involved, but I will if you don't keep the man you desperately wanted in check. Thanks, and I appreciate it. But I'm petty and I'd like to cause drama for them both and let her know she won what she created. A cheat.